There, we got this working. Good morning. Thanks for being here. Yay, say hello, please. Tell me how you're doing. Ask any questions and I'll research it and get back to you. So what I was thinking today is, there's something called the Johari window. And it talks about how we see ourselves. So a Johari window is like basically a farm window where there's 4 panes. And I can't remember them all. You know, my memory's been slipping. But there's how I see myself, how others see me, the part that I don't see, but others see. And what's the other one? Let me look it up, because my forgetter may be working pretty well, but I don't like it. Because I just had it on the tip of my tongue, and now it's gone. Johari window. Let's try this. Johari window. Let's try this. Oh my goodness. Evidently, there's some famous people called Johari. Good grief. The framework you and your team can use to develop self-awareness. Okay, so it's my open area, the part of me that I know and everyone else knows. The part of me that nobody knows but me. Then there's the blind spot, the part that others see that I don't see. And then there's the unknown part. Known to self, the open area and the hidden area. Not known to self, my blind spots and unknown, mystery. And that's where some digging a little deeper comes from. So my main area are the open areas, the hidden areas, and the blind spots. I don't usually dig into the unknown. As a psychotherapist, I believe that some things stay under in our subconscious because we're not ready for them. And like if you fall down and you get gravel under your skin and then it kind of works its way up, I think that it's because now the body's ready to get rid of it. It's well enough. It's not going to leave a great big scab. It's just going to barely leave anything. And I think our brain works that way as well. If you just go digging in to get it out, I mean, what's the sense in it? Sometimes you have to. Okay. Don't go there. I'm just saying. So, I think it's time to put on some makeup. I think it's important for those of us who are sensitive and emotional and tender to be aware of some things. And especially those of us who covered up by being the strong one, by being the caretaker. Sometimes we just have bad days. So if I'm having a bad day, I just tell the people closest to me, hey, I didn't get enough sleep last night, or I don't know what's wrong with me. Maybe my hormones. Maybe it's the Alzheimer kicking in. I don't know what it is, but I'm in a bad mood. I'm just telling you right now. So I'm going to try to stay calm and work on it, but please bear with me. And I expect some leniency because I am the caretaker. I am the one who takes care of things. So if I'm having a bad day, I do expect I know there are a lot of people who say, well, expectations, but I'm telling you what, it's called reciprocity. And every good community works on reciprocity. I'm trying to get into a place where I start putting on makeup and look at you too. We need, it's gray out. We're expecting that hurricane weather to be rolling in. And supposed to get days of rain, and we need it. I have not been out watering because I have decided that my little front garden area has come far enough along. I don't have any potted, well, I have 2 potted plants out there now, but I think they're 4, 5, 6. I think they're getting enough water. I like being able to just dab that in there. Anyway, I think sometimes it works when you make a reasonable request for some room when you're not in the best of moods, as long as you don't do it like every day, all the time. I mean, if it's a couple days in a row, once in a while, I get it. But it just can't be something you expect to be able to go around acting like a, you know what, and get away with it. There are people who think because they were abused years ago, they have permission. They've given themselves permission to just be rude every single day. Well, go ahead. But I think it's inhumane to treat animals or humans that way. It's highly unnecessary. And it's not, and if you're someone who is into spiritual growth and you've given yourself permission to be rude to, say, just 1 or 2 people or a small group of people, I think you're on the wrong track, but that's my opinion. There are people, matter of fact, I think if you've decided to not commit suicide, don't just barely exist. Participate. I don't want anybody committing suicide, especially before they've given a sense of honor, integrity, looking at all your options, courage. I mean, what do you really have to face? And if it's mental health stuff, have the courage to check out every avenue first, right? When I decided to stay on the planet, that's when I decided, okay, there was a little part of me that believed in reincarnation. There was a little part of me that believed in God, a little part of me that believed in Buddha, all these different things that I had researched and tried to find myself in. Well, if I were going to believe in those things, then if I were going to die and be reincarnated, how could I? Because I would say, you know, if I die and come back, this would change. I would do this different. I would follow through on this and stop doing that. So it was like, it hit me. Why not do those things now, right now? Every morning. Wake up thinking, wow, I've been reincarnated again. I've got another day. What am I going to do with it? And sometimes the answer is I'm going to relax, eat Pop-Tarts, and watch TV all day. I don't care. If it's something you enjoy, do it. Why am I so hot? I don't know, but I'm going to turn this ceiling fan up for one thing. The humidity is building. as this weather shifts, and I've already had a lot of sugar this morning. I've already played with the dogs, and I think I'm having a hard time cooling off. It's okay. I'm not going to beat myself up over it. Okay, so here's the exciting part. How am I going to handle today? And I'm going to tell you something. Here's something funny. At first, it's kind of difficult. Excuse me. At first, it's a little difficult trying to, it's too hot to wear my hair down. Dang. It's like wearing a shawl. And it's not heavy hair either. So, I say my prayer at night. Dearest Heavenly Father, thank you for this beautiful day. If there's anything that I need to know to make any corrections from today, please put it on my heart and in my mind so I can take care of it first thing in the morning. That's it. Something like that. I might add something. Like, what were you thinking? Sometimes I add something spicy. It's my God. I'll talk to me the way I want. My God, I decided years ago, has a sense of humor with me. Because I'll tell you what, I abused that relationship highly. And now that we've made up, we have some understandings going on. So check this out. Then in the morning, I wake up and I'm thinking, dearest Heavenly Father, thank you for another day. Please guide me in how to do your will and to shed your light. Amen. It's that simple. That's it. It's not that complicated. But I can tell you this. This morning, Walmart delivers and the rain's coming. Thank goodness the concrete wasn't hot. We've had some cool days. Before I throw in the towel on the pink, I got this on the cheapest price you could get it for like $2. And I got these about the cheapest price you could get for like $2 or $3. So I'm going to mix them half and half. There's no reason for me to keep the white unless I'm keeping it because I'm mixing it with another color, but I got rid of all of my dark powder and dark foundation that I was experimenting with. I give it, so I don't know that I'd ever need that white powder ever for anything. So I'm not even going to put it in there. So what I'm going to do is I am going to go in here, mix it all up. And honestly, look at this. My Airspun, or you can use Cody. They're basically the same thing. Very close in color. This is the one I just mixed, and this is the one in the jar. So, as far as buying more powder, I've got so much powder. I think my shopping spree days are finally coming to an end. I'm just I love getting mail. I do. That's why I'm gonna instead of having things come to the house and be in the rain, I'm getting a post office box. And I think that would be the best way to do it. Anyway. So, what was I saying? Okay, so the Johari window thing. When I decided to live, and if I were going to live, how am I going to participate? Am I going to show up or not? Decided yes, I'm going to start showing up. Okay, good. So I'm going to show up, and that means I'm going to work hard. And look at the Johari window. So one of the blessings that I had, and I don't know if Frankie, oh my gosh, I hate it when you bark in the house. You know that, right? You do know that. Nothing new's happening. Nothing. No new neighbors, no new dogs, no new cars, nothing. He's so freaking cute. Ah, how come you're so cute? Okay, I have a baby gate up. Okay, so one of the things is I was very fortunate because when I decided to stop trying to kill myself slowly with alcohol, some of my homework was from outpatient treatment because I wouldn't stay inpatient anymore. That was just not my gig. Wasn't going to do it. Oh my God, I hate being trapped. And that's part of my story. But back in the day, I didn't have a counselor who pushed enough. Years ago, it was different getting education to be a counselor. Just before I got into the field as a client, they didn't have to have anything but a high school diploma and be registered with the state. Just before I got involved with counseling. I think you had to have a high school diploma. Just like when you're starting a business, you just register with your county. Not even with the government, right? It's not national. It's countywide or statewide. That's it. They had associations, I suppose, like anybody. Anyway, let me see how I can do this. So, by the time I got interested in pursuing counseling, which it seems like a lot of people new in recovery want to do, but I didn't. I didn't want to be a counselor. I had no qualms about that. I was a hairdresser, but it just seemed like since I was a little kid, people have been coming to me, and you'd think I would have known how to run my own life, but that didn't work. You know, there's a lot of us hypocrites out there. That was me. I could tell you how to run your own life, and people would be like, oh my God, I got to tell my sister to come to you because you helped me so much. And I was doing all that for free. And as a hairdresser, I had people saying, you should have a shingle that says, haircuts, this price, you talk, this price, I talk, this price. And the price keeps going up. I had people come from all over to come get a haircut because I I've always been someone who kind of kept to myself. And so you didn't get to just hang out with me and get my advice. And my friends were more like me, troubled. So I'm just putting base on right now. Because I put castor oil on as a moisturizer today. I've been rubbing my nose a lot and my eyes a lot from these little allergies. And crazy. Dang it. I don't know where here it is. Try this. I know. I should be putting on liquid eyeliner and putting that brown on it to soften it up, but I'm going to try this little combo. It's black powder mixed with brown powder. But my powder just, with my allergies and stuff, it's just not working as well, but I'm going to do it anyway. Just because I like doing it this way better than liquid. I have a lot of liquid, so I'm going to use it eventually. We'll see how this wears. It's a fresher palette, so we'll see. I think sometimes they just kind of expire over time. Okay, so getting to know yourself. So the thing is, I didn't have a therapist who told me about the Johari window. And it wasn't until years later I heard about it when I started going to school. Because I finally got convinced when I went to go take a class to learn more about myself. I just wanted to take a Psych 101. Or somewhere in there. But that class was full and they put me into, I told you the story about how I got into counseling. So they put me into this meeting with this guy and talked me into going in to taking a couple courses. But anyway, I love coffee and tea. Not just the flavor, just the drinking of it. So anyway, I think it would have helped to be told, and this is what I do in sessions with clients, is they'll say, well, I don't do this and I don't do that. And I'm like, well, you're doing it right now. What do you mean? Well, you're a counselor. I'm supposed to be able to just let loose with you. And I'm like, but you're letting loose in a way that looks like you have practiced it often. It looks very natural for you to act this way. If someone were acting like this way for the first time because they finally found the perfect therapist, I hear you, but it would look more clumsy than this because your neural pathways wouldn't be smooth in that area. There's a way people act when it's genuine and fresh and new. It's either eruptive in a volcanic sort of way. That means it's spewing and sputtering, but it's coming. It's doing it. Or it's very clumsy trying to find its way to the top of the volcano or to the side of the volcano. But it doesn't look that dramatic and TV quality. You have to have the guts to say things like that. People will try to make themselves look innocent and look like the victim. I get it. I get it. Look at YouTube. Look at TikToks and Reels and Facebook and TV and etc., etc. Video games. There's almost always some horror story of how someone's a victim and someone must pay but not a lot of introspection. That's what the Johari window is about. It's about, what am I doing and why? Or what am I doing? Stop it. And then later figure out why. So when you have the Johari window, when you're part of a program like AA or Al-Anon or Codependence Anonymous or the Lions Club, if you've got some friends you can tap into and they have the guts to be honest with you, and maybe they don't, maybe they're afraid because you're attractive or you have money, or they think you're so fragile you might break, or you might lose your temper with them. Because sometimes people you work with could be a good window to tap on and ask, what do you see in me that I could work on in counseling? You know, if you go and ask. I had a counselor, finally. I had already been working on my journey for almost 10 years, and had already been a counselor, starting my own business. And that divorce brought me to my knees. It was my last divorce. Brought me to my knees. I was ashamed that I could feel like I came so far in my sobriety, and yet barely see how I was behaving. It very arrogant, self-centered, demanding, rude, to only not enough people that anybody told me until they were done with me. Right. And I have clients. I thin out my clients on the phone. I take clients that I can relate to and that I feel very confident that I can help them. So, I am not happy with such light eyeliner. I feel like I need some black before I put on my mascara. All right, let's see if I can take some of this old black eyeshadow. See if I can't do something with it. So this skin is so crinkly that it's hard to tell in this lighting for me. All right, we'll see. We'll see. Okay, now I'm just going to put on some mascara. Okay, so the Johari window, if people have the guts to tell you, or if you don't know people, you know, if you haven't let them in, it makes it hard to work on things if you don't know them. And people wouldn't tell me because I was a very strong personality, and I held a lot of power here and there, you know. I was so lonely and I didn't understand why. I had a black hole in the soul. So there were things that I could see, but all I saw was, I'm the nicest person I know. Oh my God. And then because I everything I touched career-wise, once I got sober, was gold. I just had such good luck. Problem is, it made me arrogant. I was embarrassed a long time because of that. And then I got counseling for that. And I'm not embarrassed anymore, but it's like, gosh, I wish that didn't happen. But it's my journey, right? I had the guts to live the journey. And when I finally had the guts to ask other people that I worked with to be really honest with me, because I needed it for my mental health. And I had some people give me some really good feedback, and I kept a lot of it and worked on it. I had one person that I know of that gave me some feedback. It was a coworker. And I thought, well, that feedback doesn't make sense. I don't understand it. And so not all feedback is going to make sense to you. If it doesn't make sense to you, if it makes you go, you can talk to your therapist about it. But just because someone gives you feedback doesn't mean it's their Johari window isn't being disrupted. You know, what they see about themselves. Maybe they're jealous or insecure, and they're giving you feedback based on how to sabotage you, make themselves feel better by pointing out something that may be weak in them. I don't know. It's none of my business. It's only my business if it's meaningful to me. Like when I had a boss tell me at one of my jobs, not my business, but at a different business I was working on, she told me I was passive aggressive. And I was like, I had that reaction where I knew I didn't like it. That was offensive to me. But I knew something about it rang true. So I asked her to give me an example. And when she gave me an example, I was just like, oh, I didn't realize how passive aggressive that looked. I didn't. And it was like, that's passive aggressive. But if you don't know it's passive aggressive, if you don't know you're doing it, you don't know. Just like sometimes people talk over and over and over again about how weak and frail they are, or what a hard shell and tender inside they have, or whatever their story is. At some point, it's like, why are you telling this story in a way? I mean, what is it that you're asking for? And is there anything you can do about it? And if there's not a game in there, if there's not a hook, if it's not bait, then you're good. But that's what's good about the Johari window. Like, I used to complain about my food sensitivities. And every time I went out to dinner with my friends, I used to make fun of vegans and vegetarians for this very same thing, is they had to announce what they were, what they could eat, what they couldn't eat, pick apart the menu. And here I was doing the same thing. And I must have done it for about 6 months or so before my first friend said, or the first person that was a friend of mine said, when are you going to get used to it? When are you going to get used to being gluten-free? We're all used to it. But you go through this diatribe, and we're talking about other things, and you're bringing up this, it's like running a tape at the beginning of every meal. She said it nicer than that, probably. But I was a little stunned because, once again, Johari window. I didn't see it, but she did. And then, when I moved, I met a different group of people, and I did it again. It was a big deal. And so it was like, then I had my closest buddy told me basically the same thing. And I was just like, oh. I think part of it is because I was lonely and I didn't know what else to talk about. There are so many things that I work with every day that can't, won't, don't want to talk about. But I want to talk about something, right? So I just need an outlet to complain, and that's the safest topic. If that's true is for you, it can be true for me, yeah, I'm going to talk about my health, my aches and pains, my poor knee, and how it's affecting the other side of my body because I'm babying that side. Or my eyeliner issues. I want to talk about them. Why? Because it gives me something to talk about that's safe. It's not risky. Because if I talked about some of the things I wanted to talk, I'd be talking politics. I'd be talking religion. I'd be talking things that people don't want to talk about. They don't want me talking about it, I'll tell you that. They don't want to know that I'm mad sometimes. I don't know. I've done enough therapy on some things that it's not so much of an issue. But I can tell you, these injuries, like on my ankle and my knee, and I've been talking about them a lot, if not to you, in my head or on videos I've deleted because I wasn't making much sense and I got distracted or somebody came in the house, what have you. And I need to leave the lid off of this mascara another day because it is not thick enough. Mascara doesn't get thick enough to me until it's almost finished. Anyway, none of this has to be perfect, but I can tell you this. My sweet friend Rose on here, Rose over 70, she has some health issues. Hi, Rose. I hope you're feeling good today. I know there's good days and bad days. I get it. Oh, I get it. Holy cow. I just ordered a massager to help me with the muscles in my left leg that are cramped up. And that's why when I walk, it's just like a sore muscle. So the chiropractor said I need to start massaging that. And the massager I had to push down so hard, I feel like I'm bruising myself. So I ordered a Bob and Tom's or Tom and Dave's massager. They offer several different types, and I researched it the best I could. And then I found the one that I wanted that had a coupon on it. So, woohoo! That's awesome. That was awesome. I love saving money. It's not like I'm broke or poor anymore. And I got to experience Christmas so many days recently with Temu, just buying stuff and having it delivered, and that was fun. I hadn't ever experienced anything like that before, where I just ordered lots and lots of stuff, and you never know when it's going to come in because their delivery is so weird. I delivered things months ago that still aren't here. I actually ordered a little vacuum cleaner, one of those like stick vacuum cleaners, months ago. It's on a ship somewhere, I think. Big deal. But I need to order. I like to order palettes that have multiple uses. Like this would be for the eyes, this would be for the bronzer, and this would be for the blush, or go this way. So if I go this way, I can give myself some sunshine. I just like all these colors. Ooh. Except these three are shiny. I forgot about that. Dang it. I didn't mean to put all that shine on my cheeks. Problem is, when I put shine on in the video, it just like fuzzes out. So I'll stay out of the sparkle. And then I'll use this other brush for the other end and do a little bronzer effect. Ooh, that got too much. Okay, so the point is that I'm trying to make is what am I gonna do with that? Well, better do something. Looks like I got bruised, hit in the head. That might be okay. Ooh. So I think it's important to get feedback from other people, but I also think it's important to be yourself. Sometimes I just need to complain. And because I'm not trying to build a YouTube channel, I just want us to entertain each other, support each other, love each other. Yeah, I was given some of that thought because I do know I have clients who have fancy YouTube channels. I don't even tell them about mine because I'm not inviting being judged. I do this for my own mental health. And I have a therapist who I love deeply and am highly attached to. So, because she's one person who has the guts to let me know when she sees me off my rocker, or where I could just work on something to tune up a little bit. That's important. I don't know. That's just how I feel about it. And of course I have mascara dots right there. Dang it. So I don't know. I think the bottom line is, it doesn't matter what kind of a hot mess we are. It really doesn't. Unless it's affecting you and you don't like what you're getting out of life. Never give up. Never give up. Suck everything out of life you can. Enjoy as much as you can. Complain as much as you want. Just take a look at the Johari window and ask yourself, is it complaining just simply a release and it's clean? Or is it passive aggressive because you're trying to get something out of it? Or you're using that as a topic to keep from talking about deeper things? That's what I was doing. And I wasn't giving other people room to talk about things that they wanted to talk about because I was tired. I didn't want to sit at the table and end up being a counselor, and I didn't know how to not. I didn't know how to just sit there and be a friend. I had to learn how to do that. Some people come by it honestly. They're born that way. They have a sense of humor. They're able to be open-minded. I didn't have any of that going for me. I had sarcasm and passive aggressiveness, which could be really funny to me. God, what an ass. So, I'm telling on myself because I'm telling you I'm not alone. There's a lot of us out there. Just a little crazy. Just saying. So, yeah. Ooh, my nose itches. So there you go. Probably wasn't useful, but But there you go. I'm going to put on some of this lotion. Well, oh my God, I just got this everywhere. I can tell you that I just want to remind you, there's nothing wrong with complaining. It's just take a look at the Johari window, just for fun. It's just to get to know yourself better. It also helped me get over, like, for me, math. Okay, so I think I told you that because where I come from, almost everywhere I've been, we have black dirt or sandy dirt, maybe even like in parts of Texas, right? But I've never lived anywhere until this last several years in an area where the dirt is clay. So a lot of people, instead of dealing with the clay, they have and bringing in black dirt, because I guess that's expensive. They've been using mulch. Ooh, I'm sitting in the dark, sorry. Mulch that's treated with a little black dirt, I guess. But it's the tiniest wood chips you've ever seen. Well, I grew up being able to put cigarette butts out in a potted plant in the dirt and then come back and get the butts, or put it out, empty the butt out, and then just stick the butt in your pocket. Well, I put a cigarette out in my mother-in-law's pot, and while we took her out to dinner and back, that mulch smoldered and started a little fire. And when she came home, the banister on the porch outside her kitchen was on fire. And she was able to put it out with some pots of water from her kitchen because it was right out the door. Thank goodness. Now, in the old days, not knowing about the Johari window, I would have gone on and on about how guilty I felt, how awful I felt. And understandably so. However, because I see things a little differently now, it's if I'm going on and on and on about how guilty I feel, I need to work on that with my therapist. But if I'm telling all the family members and anybody who will listen about how terrible I feel because they might hear about it, to me, I'm looking for approval, pats on the back, sympathy, whatever. And it was her house that caught on fire, not mine, right? They're just glad the fire's out. They're just glad that I'm a smart person and am going to learn from that no, you can't trust that anybody in Tennessee has dirt in their pots. You have to understand that it's probably mulch. Lesson learned. Don't ever just move on, right? Nobody wants to keep talking about it. And if they do, go ahead, vent, shame me a little bit if you need to, but it's time to move on. That's what the Johari window has helped me do. Thank goodness. There are a lot of things that I was able to work through, things that I was ashamed of. I've shared some really embarrassing behaviors that I had before I got into recovery, before I had really strong psychotherapy, to strong people give me psychotherapy. And it could have been very similar to what I had before, but I needed a strong person to be able to say it in a way that I could hear it, instead of saying it in a way that I could talk them out of their judgment, right? That I could talk them out of holding me responsible. So that's why I shared, is maybe at some point, oh, there's my other little vibrator. I wondered what that was. I still been using one just like this. I have one out by the TV to help with that 11. Well, my 11 gets so bad it crinkles up into a 14. It's just a great little tool. One of those little things I got from Temu for like $1.50. Yay! I gotta go. You can tell I'm a little lonely. It's been a couple long weeks of work. Good weeks, but long. Holy cow, it's just, sometimes with clients when it rains it pours. Sometimes with health issues when it rains it pours. And I talk about my health issues, like my legs, my ankle, my knee, how they've been healing together and how the healing's not going as well as I thought because I've been doing some exercises to try to help stay on course with that. But it doesn't seem to be moving along the way I thought it was going to. Haven't been doing the right stretches and exercises. I've been kind of lazy when it comes to researching it, evidently. And I need to do that. And by hearing myself talk about it, I'm rearranging my desk, can help get me back on track of being a mature adult. But sometimes we just need to vent. It doesn't mean we're attention seeking or whatever. Or maybe we are. Maybe we just need a little empathy, a little loving. All right, I've talked enough. I'm embarrassing myself right now. Yep. That's all I got. All right. I need a weekend. It's going to rain all weekend. I'm pouting. All right. I'll check in soon. All right. Bye for now. Say hi. Leave a comment. Mwah. Bye for now.